Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today to talk a little bit about Kinross and our experience in Russia in the last 20 years, which we are celebrating this year. I certainly believe that we've been very successful, and what I'd like to do today is just give you a brief overview. I'll talk briefly about Kinross from a global point of view, our experience as an active explorer within Russia, a successful mine developer and a producer of gold and silver, and finally just draw your attention to some of our stakeholder activities within the region. Obviously, to keep me on the right side of the SEC and all of those things, forward-looking statements, standard for everyone, I guess. So just at a glance, our organization has 9 operating mines around the region, around the world. We have open pit and underground mines located in Russia, the United States, Chile, Brazil, Ghana, and most famously also in Mauritania. I think we've established ourselves as a global producer with 9,000 employees. We work in 5 different languages, and we have a solid record of strong operating performance. In a situation in the world where a lot of people are disinvesting, we are investing in the gold mining industry. 2014 saw record production of 2.7 million ounces around the world. And in 2015, we're targeting between 2.4 and 2.6 million ounces. Overall, our Russian operations account for 29% of our total production within the global sphere. So we've been operating in Russia since 1995, as I said, celebrating our 20th anniversary this year, something we're extremely proud of. During this period, the company has gone through stages of discovery, permitting, construction, and operations, and even closure within the Russian Federation. Our current Kinross assets in Russia, we have 100% ownership of the Kupol deposit, which operates through our holding company of the Chukotka Mining and Geological Company, CMGC. And we also have 100% of the Dvoynoye deposit, which is more commonly known through the Northern Gold holding company. Since 1995, the total investment in Russian operations, including initial acquisition costs and continued capital investment, is more than $3 billion US. I think importantly, I'd like to draw everybody's attention to the fact that in both the cases of Kupol and Dvoynoye, it took us only 3 years to obtain all the necessary permits, documentation following the acquisition of these assets. And this is something that we've never been able to emulate in any of our other operating districts around the world. I think, as far as Kupol and Dvoynoye, located in the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug, is concerned, we regard these 2 mines as a model of successfully operated mines in very remote locations that we continually refer to these 2 operations as world-class deposits and world-class assets managed, I believe, by top people. In 2014, Kupol and Dvoynoye produced their fourth million ounce of gold, and since the inception, we've also exceeded 40 million ounces of silver. In 2010, Kinross received the Russian government, or the State Commission of Control of Foreign Investments, approval for the 100% ownership of Dvoynoye, which at the time is a strategic gold deposit. And I believe Kinross Gold is the first foreign investor to receive the Russian government's approval for 100% ownership of such an asset. Kupol was also the first mine in Russia to obtain the full cycle International Cyanide Code certification, and we've just recently renewed that. So a brief look at the location in terms of remoteness, and certainly I don't have to tell people around the room how remote certain areas in the Far East is. Our mines are located in Chukotka, as we've said, and we are more than 6,400 kilometers from Moscow, 1,200 kilometers from our regional office located in Magadan, and 450 kilometers from the capital of Chukotka in Anadyr. Our main procurement operations are carried out through a 430-kilometer long winter road from Pevek, the most northeastern seaport in Russia. And we've also now developed quite a bit of experience about using the Northern Sea route from Argansk to Pevek for our shipping of our containers. So, on a contribution to social and economic development, Kinross has been making significant contributions to the Chukotka and the Magadan regions through the payment of our tax revenues, wages, benefits, and also stimulating the startup of a lot of local businesses in both regions. In addition, we've really been focused on on-site and off-rotation training programs for our employees. On-the-job development experience for summer students, both from the Anadyr region as well as the Magadan region. Miscellaneous support for local communities, including and highly focused on our indigenous peoples in the area. In 2009, Kinross initiated the establishment of a regional social development foundation, which is named the Kupol Foundation, and we have now added the Voinoye contribution, or the Northern Gold contribution, into the Kupol Foundation as well. And since its creation, the Kupol Foundation has approved funding of more than 45 million rubles into 59 local social projects. And this year, we've certainly actively increased that level, and we are now at 69 projects with 55 million rubles already. There's been quite a bit of discussion already about our contribution from a external level, and within the framework of the FIAC, we, as Kinross, has introduced 3 white papers. They're certainly readily available on our website for anybody to review. And within those, we've used the framework and the opportunity to present our view on all sorts of different legislative requirements within the Russian Federation and how similar or different they are from other jurisdictions around the world, and how we feel that changes or development or continuing growth in those areas can stimulate foreign investment as well as, obviously, opportunities for us as an organization. I think key success factors for us in Russia can summarize it really with 3 words in saying persistence, partnerships, and people. I believe we have an excellent team of local professionals, excellent knowledge base, a lot of experience, and we certainly value our local employees tremendously and how much development and energy and contribution they put into the organization. Unprecedented relative to our other organizations in other districts is the level of desire for professional development amongst our employees within the Russian region. And then for 20 years, we've been receiving constant support from federal and local and regional governments. And certainly I would like to express my gratitude to the governors of Chukotka and Magadan regions for their support of Kinross within the regions. Sort of taking this opportunity, our deeper appreciation to Roman Valentinovich Kopin and the governor of Chukotka and his team and their administration for the constant local support that we get from them. Our long-term strategy for the region has always been a cornerstone of development and trusting relationships with these stakeholders. And it's on that basis that we have been able to be successful relative to the common perception that it's difficult to do business here. I think it's about partnerships and how we create and maintain those partnerships. To that end, I'd also like to thank and acknowledge Governor Vladimir Pachorny for the contributions that he has within the Magadan region, where a lot of our employees are based. So, I guess to conclude, Russia is a mining destination with great resource potential, sort of unprecedented in terms of what is out there. And despite popular perceptions, despite negative perceptions, it is certainly one of the greatest potentials for mining investment. The Russian subsoil legislation is complicated, but it's certainly improving in terms of greater clarity and transparency. And once you understand it and you follow through the process, you can make it work. Dialogue with regulators, the Ministry of Natural Resources, the Ministry of Economic Development, Far East Development, Rosnedra, and others have always been highly fruitful for us. Local and regional authorities provide the support to the investments that contribute to the economic development of the regions. Our Russian workforce is very experienced, skilled, and efficient, and open cooperation with local communities has also been a pillar for us. So the Kinross experience, I believe, shows that it is possible to invest in Russian mining and to succeed. And it's certainly with great appreciation that I'm being able to share that with you here today. Thank you very much.